Okay, we are live in the No Hype Zone. We are with James out west. We have,
your boy Lance in the building.
as always, we are here on a Saturday afternoon, September 21st, in James's man cave. Now, with the luxury of not being on the radio, we can drink a few beers and
cheers, boys.
say whatever we want, apparently.
Yes,
But
sir. Kombucha, baby.
if you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you guys hit like. We are
Now.
asking that you guys hit like. Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Hit like.
Yes.
We need you to hit like, and we need you to tell other people to pull us up and hit like, subscribe, share, but hit like. Don't listen to nothing else, but hit like. Like right now, like right here, you're going to hit like, because this is dislike, and this is share, and this is subscribe. You're going to hit like. You're not going to hit dislike. You're going to hit share, and you're going to hit subscribe.
We would love your support. We're really trying to get some legs with the No Hype Zone, which is why we're collaborating with James out west and the Brothers out west. Hopefully soon we're going to have a No Hype Zone Midwest
Yes, sir.
and a No Hype Zone Baseball-ism with some surprise people on there. So we don't want to give out too much information on that just yet. But James, what do you got going on with your whole thing? With your
It
whole
sounds like
podcast?
it's a fluid situation, is what it sounds like to me.
Fluid.
Speaking of fluids.
Yeah, speaking of fluids, cheers.
Kombucha, baby.
Everything's going well. You know, football season happening, starting the videos, starting the sequences, learning how to do stuff on our own. We're a small business operation, everybody, so
Yep.
this is learn as you go.
Yes.
So it took me about, 7 hours to put together the first video, and then 4 the second video, and then about 45 minutes the third. And now that we're going to overlay all this and make it sound great, it's going to take me another 10 hours, but we'll get it.
We're very low budget,
Yes,
but
sir.
we're looking to expand. So
So Nike, we need your sponsorship. Everybody else, we need your sponsorship. Apple, we need your sponsorship.
going
At this
Apple.
point, I will say any product is good. So anybody that y'all want to throw it at me
Yes.
to sponsor, I'll tell you, hey, it's
Costco.
great shampoo for your hair. And everybody knows I'm bald.
We want to give props to Darwin Wall
Yes, sir.
down there. We got a sticker
Ball
there.
so hard.
So
Hey, thank you, Darwin. Ball so hard. Ball so hard.
if you need to own a home,
Real
talk
estate.
to Darwin Wall.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's get into our topic. So this is episode 33. I'm going to say Larry Legend for my 33.
Aha, you beat me. You beat me.
Well, you said you already had one.
I had Kareem. You know I'm going with
Yeah,
Kareem.
yeah.
going-
I'm going to go Master Teague, the Ohio State backup running back. He's number 33.
Oh, you came prepared, didn't you? You
Well,
got me.
it's great because we're watching the game
Tony
right now.
Dorsett. Ha-ha,
Ooh,
take
that's a
that.
good one. That's a little Pitt alum right there. I like that. We're watching the game here. We were watching the Ohio State Buckeyes. They got their revoked, which I don't really give two craps about. You know how they try to trademark that? You didn't see that a couple weeks ago? They tried to trademark
Same
that?
way LeBron tried to trademark Taco Tuesday, and he got
And
revoked.
both of them are ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Come on, dogs.
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm coming up with Magical Mondays.
I'm coming up with Weedle's Wednesday. Weedle's Workout Wednesday.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Ooh, I like that. Trip Dubs.
Yep, there you go.
Trip Dubs.
Because our day jobs.
Weedle Workout Wednesday. I'm going to have to subscribe to that because, bro, I need to work out.
Yeah, well, we are trainers by day and
right.
sports fans 24/7.
I was about to say, not by night,
365, yeah.
all the time.
All day.
All day we dream about fitness.
That's right. All right, so let's get into our topic. So we put out episode 32 was earlier this week. Now that we are off the radio, we have the freedom to then we can broadcast every single day if we wanted to.
Yes, sir.
You know?
But we want to thank NBC Sports because we'll be back on there come January. So Jeff and Kayla and all you guys, thank you for that wonderful opportunity, and thank
Absolutely.
you for making us part of that.
It was
NBC
fantastic.
Is that music going on in the background?
Oh, yeah, we got the...
James, you got some
bro, come on,
like
dog.
tunes?
We are making this as legit as possible. And real quick, because I didn't get to jump in on the 33,
Yeah.
we're going to go slinging Sammy Ball.
Oh, okay.
Old school
We're going
quarterback.
like
Played till like
19,
52, smoked
okay.
cigs,
40.
I like
ripped
that.
cigs on the sidelines, kicked through,
I love
interceptions, punt returns. Played till he's
God.
like 65 years
I
old.
swear, James is my brother. James is my brother. I'm going to do, what's that, Ancestry.com. I swear, James, it's got to be a brother of mine down the line.
It's somewhere in the blood.
Somewhere in there. He's a Johnson something, Williams,
There you
Smith,
go.
Clark.
Harris,
I mean, it's
Clark. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Clark. I mean, come on, dog.
All right, I'm with you,
we're
Clark.
right there.
Yeah, you got a little bit in there. That Clark. All right, there you go.
Mr. Clark, Mr. Clark.
You know, Weedle is kind of hard. You know, Weedle
It's
is
very
out.
hard.
But, you know, yeah, Mama Weedle might have some Clark, but, you know.
Anderson. Her name is Anderson.
There we
so-
go.
There you
Okay, there we
All
go.
right, there you
There
go.
you
All right,
go.
that's our family. We are
Right on.
family like this Pointer Sisters or whatever, Sister Sledge, whatever. Here we go. Let's get to the game.
All right, yeah. So we want to touch on some college football first. We do want to say the story of the day so far is Michigan lost today against Wisconsin. Now, I'm not starting with that because we are Ohio State fans
Yes,
here.
you are.
Had to be like that, huh?
Yeah.
It's just that this is like the biggest topic right now, man. Like preseason, all this hype. ESPN had, Michigan 48.2% chance to win the Big Ten. But all of us guys out here who are like, we're really into college football. Now, we're not trying to say, hey, we are so hyped about, Ohio State that we're only going to talk Ohio State, and yes, they are the best. But we were saying, hey, don't count out Ohio State is basically what we were saying.
But why are they doing it? Because who's the coach?
Correct. Jim Harbaugh, is very, sis boom. Yeah, right?
Harbaugh. I love
sounds
it.
like from Boston or something like that, right?
Harbaugh down on the field.
It's like they got so hyped up this preseason that people forgot about Ohio State and the other teams in there. They forgot about Wisconsin and their ground game. Their ground attack today was phenomenal.
Okay.
Jonathan, was it JT Taylor, right? The running back there. He had like 200 yards by halftime, like alone himself on the ground. So
he had to come out of the game for cramps.
Yes.
He was balling on them so hard. Shout out, ball so hard. He
Hey-o.
literally
Ball so hard.
balled so hard that he gave himself cramps.
yep. So I want to give props to Wisconsin because they didn't get any love in the offseason. So good for them. Michigan, you got to find an identity, come back. And this is off of a bye week as well. You had a bye week to prepare for Wisconsin.
Who has a bye week in the second week of the season?
And you lost. And even
That's so Michigan.
right? And even Harbaugh said, hey, we were out coached, we were out man, we were outgunned, we were out everything. Dude, you're supposed to be buttoned up and well put together,
Should have
man.
never left San Francisco.
Here's the problem. Michigan's identity is Jim Harbaugh and not the program.
Exactly.
It's
That's
him
what I
Heard it
just
right
said.
here.
and not
That's a
the
great-
program.
that's a great
Urban
point.
Meyer wasn't the identity. He was the facilitator. The identity is the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, but that's what I was just saying. That's the reason why we care about Michigan in the first place.
Yes.
Is because of Harbaugh. It
Yes.
has nothing to do with the team. I don't see any 5-star, 4-star, 3-star recruits that's making me stop what I'm doing and sit at home and make sure that I'm watching Michigan. All I know is that Harbaugh is on the hot seat every year and that he has to win, and we're looking for that magic that he brought to Frisco and that magic that he brought to Stanford. That's it.
Hype wise, but no hype. That kind of sucks because going into the game at the end of the year, we want to see Michigan and Ohio State undefeated. That game is so much more fun. So Michigan, get it together. I'm rooting for you, but I'm not rooting for you. But in my no hype, get it together, man.
Okay.
No. Burn it down. I don't care. If Ohio I was telling Seth this before the show.
Yeah.
My belief is if you're a big conference school, if you go undefeated, it doesn't matter what your conference is. Your conference could be booty. It could be terrible. It doesn't matter. If you go undefeated and you're in a big conference, shame on the rest of them.
Yeah.
Shame on the rest of them. So Ohio State loses one game, that's when it hurts. So take care of business.
But also, we were talking about this. We tried to tap into it on Tuesday, but we did not have enough time. Strength of schedule. I think that matters. So when you say, hey, you can have one loss, but if that one loss is against like a mid-major or Division I AA school or an FCS school, that should hurt you. But at the same time, if you schedule these good games, like, hey, I want to see, a number 6 team versus a number 9 team early in the season that are from two different conferences. Now, if you look, Oregon lost against Auburn. They didn't drop that far. A&M lost against Clemson. They didn't drop that far.
Right.
You need to make better games in college to have people watch.
Or my suggestion,
Yeah.
what I told you
like
earlier
this
this
one.
week, you can either schedule the big games or either when you do schedule these cream puffs, the quota is that you got to have 70 points up, and you got to win by almost 50 to 60 points for it to even count as something like you're playing a big name school. I didn't have last week but going into the week, I had a problem with looking at the schedule because I wasn't excited about college football. Then I got a chance to look at the LSU game, and LSU turned it up towards the second quarter. And as they was running up the score, I was thinking to myself, aha, when you watch these big-name schools play against these cream puffs, well, let's turn this into a super practice. I want to see excellence. I want to see 70, 80, 90 points from this team. And if this is the only, because we're not going to have the big name teams not schedule some of these little companies of the poor teams because of the money. So they're going to need that. Yeah. So if that's the case, the quota is you got to win by at least 70 points. That puts the pressure on that big school, and that small school gets a moral victory if they can hold them within 60 to 70
70 points, dog. Hold up. So let
ahead,
me throw
speak on it.
50 burger.
50?
50. Because all these small schools, and me and Seth talk about this. You know, when Tressel was the coach at Ohio State, when he scheduled non-conference games and these smaller games, he kept it in state because he wanted the money to go in state. So like these smaller schools getting 700, 800, 900, or $1,000,000 or $1 million, right. It does a lot.
Right.
So I like that, but there was a specific reason for that. With what Alabama does and what some of these other schools do, it's not in state. It's somebody from some other place. They make them come here. They demoralize them.
Right.
Where it's almost like when they do that at Ohio State and they play Ohio, and I hate to keep bringing that up, but it's almost respect factors. Like, listen, we're not going to beat you by 60 or 70. We're going to get a comfortable lead, and we're going to let our young guys play, and we're going to give you guys the opportunity to play. And it's going to be the biggest stadium that any of your guys are ever going to play in.
Right.
They're going to be able to tell their kids, because most of those kids are going to the small schools, don't move on.
Right.
You know, 1% of them move on. So they're going to be able to say, hey, you know, your daddy played in 2018 at Ohio Stadium and had 65 yards receiving on 2 catches.
Right.
We might have lost 50-5, but that's not my problem. We were there. And that, to me, the experiences and the memories mean more than Nick Saban beating up on Wolford or, like you said, the .coms, University of Phoenix, Grand Canyon University,
but
Capella.
Saying, right.
I mean.
But I'm saying that's going to actually happen. And if that's going to happen, if we're going to use that to affect the BCS, then we got to put a quote on it.
I like that.
10 touchdowns in a game from a big ranking school and versus a little nobody school.
True.
That makes them come out there and play ball.
So what happens if they don't get those 10 touchdowns or 70 points?
They get dinged on the points. They get dinged in the rankings.
But let me ask you, with that being said, is that going to force teams to then make sure they do it? So it's like right now, like we looked at that Ohio State score earlier. I mean, they're drumming them.
Yeah.
Right.
If they knew they had to beat them by 70,
Right.
Fields is still in the game.
Right.
And now you got guys from Miami, Ohio getting beat by 60.
Right.
These guys are the cream of the crop of their high schools.
So
they're not used to getting beat. Now someone's headhunting.
Right.
Now someone's looking to hurt somebody.
Right.
So there's like a fine line between having to draw that and being respectful, which I think we go back to Tressel. He was the master of doing that with being able to beat you. I mean, beat the drums off you,
right.
but make you feel respected.
Well, but my point, though, it's not about that respect. When you're playing these teams and you still up by 65 or 40 points, we're having a hard time watching college. Make it mean something.
That's true.
If I'm Chandler Gilbert playing against Arizona State, if I don't let them beat me by 70, I won.
I hear you.
I'm not gonna win the game, but they gotta play at a certain level, and I gotta play at a certain level. And all I need to do is score a field goal or a touchdown, because it keeps them on their heels.
I've got an
Plain
idea.
and simple.
I got an idea. I was telling you about this earlier. So you and I were talking about before the show started. All these small schools get $700, $800, $1 million to come play, to come get destroyed in a glorified practice, right?
Absolutely.
So how about this? Because Alabama's always going to be good until Nick Saban leaves. Clemson's going to be good forever. You have all these top schools. So how do we even the playing field? So here's a solution. Just think of up in our own backyard or whatever. Okay, so when you recruit, everybody has 50 points. Your 5-star recruits are worth 5 points. Your 4-star worth 4 points.
like that.
So what I'm trying to say is this. So instead of Alabama always getting 17 4- and 5-star recruits every year, and then the mid-majors only get 2 and 3 stars. So you spend your points on however you want to spend them. You can get 5 stars and like a bunch of 3 stars, so on and so forth. But it'll even the playing field so that those small schools can then catch up a little bit, so they can get a couple 4 or 5 stars in there. Hey, Alabama has met their quota of getting their 50 points. Now there's these other guys that are left to go to smaller schools who aren't picked up. These other 5- and 4-star guys. Go ahead.
So already I'm going to poke holes in that.
Please,
I'm gonna
please,
poke
please, sure.
And what I think, I like it, but here's the thing. First off, that sounds like socialism. Let's make sure everybody's equal. Make sure Bernie Sanders not running the NCAA. We're not getting into politics.
Right.
We'll leave it there. We'll
No.
stop.
Yep.
But what I mean by that is this. So then who corrupts that when a team goes, okay, well, we're not going to give this guy a 5-star? We got this 6'7", 380-pound lineman that lives in Alabama. We're going to make sure he's a 3-star because he's a 2.0 GPA.
Well, that's why there's an outside source that does all that.
But who does that? Because the NCAA, in my opinion, is corrupt AF.
The NCAA does not.
No, but I'm saying, so another company can just be just scrubbed or bought off.
Okay.
Boosters. Hey, I need you to mark that guy as a 3-star. Where are you at? You want a summer lake home? There's 1,000 lakes in Alabama.
Right.
You want a lake home?
Right.
For 2 weeks in the summer, for the rest of your life, for your family? We can do that. Make that lineman a 3-star, and we're going to go give him a contract. Plus, players don't want to go play at Woodford.
True.
They want to go play at Alabama. They want to go play at Florida State. Now, they don't want to go to Tennessee. Shots at Tennessee. I'm sorry.
Right.
But they don't want to go. There's certain programs players just don't want to play at and players want to play at. So even if you do that, then guess what happens? You're going to be like Clay Matthews Jr., who goes to USC as a walk-on. Yeah. You know why? Why did he go on as a walk-on?
I didn't know that.
You know why he went on as a walk-on? Because
legacy.
Legacy, because you know what? He's going to make the team anyways. We're going to let you use that scholarship towards someone else who can't afford to go here.
That's smart.
And that's how they're able to build those. Listen, college is like a business like anything else. College football.
Absolutely.
Right. Especially
100%.
Unbelievable. Yeah. What you can do with $100 handshakes, what you can do, it tips the scales. There's always going to be a big five. There's always going to be that. What I like is the idea of the stipend for players to be paid to play.
That was,
I love
that.
that.
My next topic, but you can
it is the same amount of money for every school. Same amount. Because $500 handshakes will still happen regardless. You're not going to change that. But what will happen is you're going to allow players that, okay, I didn't get into Ohio State, but I got into Cincinnati or I got into Akron or whatever, and now I'm going to make $2,000 a month, let's say. And in my opinion, if you don't spend it, the school, like a 401k, matches you.
Right.
Dollar for dollar. Yeah. So when you graduate, because you're not going to the pros.
I love that idea.
Right.
Now instead of spending your money, maybe use 50%, you're coming out with a $40,000 nest egg.
Yes, sir.
Let's say.
Yes, sir.
We'll double your money. You don't spend any of it.
Yep.
Which helps you with your small business or wherever you're going to go.
Yep.
With a foot in the ground, because these student athletes get taken advantage of.
Yes, sir. That was right there on point. Now, just real quick, sir.
Please.
Poke holes at what you said.
Sure.
And a little bit of what James said. James hit it right on the head. If you're a 5-star recruit or 3, 4, 9 times out of 10, the ultimate is to play for those big time schools. So you want to play for the big time schools.
Sure.
So that's the only reason why the star ranking systems will be a problem as far as you getting a 5-star player that's going to Chandler Gilbert. Nobody's going to Chandler Gilbert to go watch the football team
Absolutely.
over there. So you will go to Arizona State or U of A. So let those 5-star guys go there. Now to James's point, everybody can't get paid the same. I see where you're going with that, but I'm thinking just the top 25 teams, all the teams that make it to the bowls, those teams that draw in the revenue. You got Ohio State that get over 100,000 people that come there. You got Georgia that get the Mercedes Dome bill filled out. Texas A&M is those schools that generate that big revenue. If you happen to play for them, you should get a piece of the pie.
That will keep everybody separated. That will keep everybody separate. So if you want to do top 25, Division I maybe get some, and the Division II, Division I, AA, they get different money. I understand that. Right. But that's just going to do the same thing as doing now.
But you got to make it to Division I. I mean, everybody don't make it to the pros. So all I'm saying is if everybody can't be on the same level. So if you are talented enough to make it to one of those top 25 teams, you should get something because those top 25 teams are pulling in the revenue for football. That's all I'm saying.
But then that'll just widen the gap of, you know, the great and then the crappy teams.
Does it change yearly? Because the 25 changes yearly.
I mean,
that makes it tough.
As a college, you got to.
But I get it.
You got to do what you got to do to stay relevant in the top 25.
How do you guys feel about the California law who wants to, they want to pay these guys now or pay them for their likeness, essentially?
So I think these players should be paid. Because here's the thing. If I go to ASU on an academic scholarship, I get my schooling for free. I can have a job. I can party. I can do whatever I want. If I'm a player, I'm getting no money. My services and time is beyond the football field and practice and classroom. The only place I get to eat for free is the facility for players. Now, it's unbelievable, but you can't take a date there.
Yeah.
So what am I supposed to do when I got this honey that wants to go out? Sorry, I'm going back to the date. Honey might not even be the word used anymore. I'm so far removed. But, you know, they want to go out. What am I supposed to do? Take her to the football to the athletic department to go have dinner. We're going to have the cook, Chef Anton, make me a steak and eggs for these girls. Come on, dog.
Yeah, right.
So there's got to be something. Because, like, look at some players that go on. They come from a lineage. A.J. Hawk, Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa. They came from players that made money. So they're living off campus, have all this money. Well, the next guy that might be even a better player than them is scrounging on by. You mean to tell me they're not going to take a $500 handshake and they're at fault?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not saying nothing about the handshakes and nothing like that, but the payment schedules, like this, you're a top 25 team. These players are getting paid on top of the table, not the under the table payments. So if you go to a school like, again, I'm gonna keep using CGCC because that's right here.
But that's a JUCO school. You got to use somebody relevant. Like,
all right, I'm just saying.
ASU.
Like a mid-major. Use a mid-major.
Oh, Appalachian State.
Okay, so
But
Appalachian State.
that's not a mid-major. That's FCS. I'm talking about the MAC, like Conference
Oh,
USA.
okay, yeah. University
talking
of
about.
Miami of Ohio, Akron U,
yep.
Kent
I'm
State.
just gonna say
whatever.
mid-major U. You go to mid-major.
Yeah, there you go.
You go to mid-major U.
But then isn't that unfair to mid-major you then? If all the top 25 schools get all this money, then what about the guys
the
in mid-major?
boosters that just like James said, the boosters are still paying the players. The players are still getting the money.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. It's just the above the table, the revenue. You playing for Ohio State, you playing for Texas, you playing for USC, you playing for Georgia, you playing for these big schools that we constantly see on the TV screen. You deserve a little piece of that.
It's for the 75 other players on that team that don't make it to the pros.
Right.
Because those pro guys, the 5, 10, 12,
Right.
15, depending on what school it is, those guys are going to get paid when they go to the pros.
Right.
They can still get it, but it's those other guys giving them a nest egg. Because you know how many players go out, end up working like we make the joke. They're in insurance, or they're in finance, or they're in banking.
Right.
A lot of times, there you go. They're pumping gas.
Yeah.
They're not driving a beer truck. They're loading a beer truck.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get their CDL.
Right. So
You know what I'm saying? They can't drive a semi truck.
I love that 401k.
So having
That's
that
what I'm
money
saying.
situation where you
Yep.
come out with a nest egg. Now, if you want to be a knucklehead and blow that when you get out on a ride and buying a condo and putting some money in the streets, that's on you. But most of them won't do that, especially if they went 4 years. Got that education. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back home. I'm open a small business. I know how to run the small business.
Right.
And they gave me my nest egg.
Right. Now you're
Giving
giving
back
them
to the
something.
community.
Yes,
That's going to
sir.
take 2 generations.
Yes, sir.
2
Talk to
generations.
me.
But at the same time, these guys are also getting free education. Let me put this out there. Like they're doing. Hold on. I know. Wow. All 2 of you guys are just like, oh my God. Wait.
I'm listening.
Let me speak. Right. Let me finish. So you're getting a free education. Let's say you don't make it to the NFL. Let them come back, finish out their 4-year degree. You know how some guys come out as a junior? Let's say you don't make it. Hey, 3 years in the league, 4 years. You know what is the average NFL?
425,000.
No, I'm saying the average NFL career is like 3.5 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't make it in the NFL, you don't make it big, you keep your scholarship, come back, get your degree. That's huge. So you don't have to come back and pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
That's okay, but again, that's a small percentage of guys that leave.
Right. I
And
understand
the
that.
argument to that is this. If you got drafted and you didn't play and say you didn't make it, you got a shot to go to the next level. I'm talking about the guys that got hurt playing in college.
It's the other 90%.
Or the other 90% that you were saying. The guys who are not looking at the draft. If you playing for Ohio State as an offensive lineman, then you might not be on the draft on Mercedes or Todd, whatever, the draft board. You still want to come out with a 401k coming out of school. You got all these injuries from playing. Yeah, you got a free education. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downplay the education. But the money that they're bringing into these schools, this is the main reason why the NCAA is having a problem with this rule, because somebody is not going to get an astronomical amount of money that they were getting before.
No.
So it's just a matter of just giving back a little bit to these players, and you're going to teach them something with it. You're going to show them that it's not about the greed. Save your money. You got something coming out of here. Learn. Take an economics class. Take a finance class. Do something. You got money coming out. Learn what to do with your money. And then if you get drafted, hey, more power to you. You got an agent counseling you on that.
That's a great point about education with money. You see a lot of these guys, you know that ESPN 30 for 30 broke, how like 80% of the guys that go to the league are broke.
And why is that? Why is that? Think about it. It goes back to, and it's such a deeper and another episode, but it goes back to, well, I didn't think I was going to make it to 35 anyway, so I'm going to blow this money. Or I trust so many people because I want to give back.
Right.
They didn't have the knowledge of going, hey, I can give it back in a different way. I don't have to give my unks this money or the ability to run my money, and all of a sudden, well, you mean I'm going to jail for 5 years for tax evasion? He ain't do it.
Right.
Or instead of buying 7 houses, 4 jet skis, 17 cars, and getting your entourage, you know, all these jewelry and chains and all this stuff, buy 1 house, pay off your parents' debt, save some money because your career is going to be done when you're 35. You know, let's just say, you know, so you're making your life's earning in a very short amount of time. A lot of these guys are not educated enough.
Look at what Gronkowski did, and he is not the
Look at what
precipice.
Marshawn Lynch did.
Hey, Gronkowski, not the precipice of brightness when it comes to IQs in the NFL. Never spent his
NFL
NFL
money.
money.
People around him to tell
Never
him that.
spent his NFL money. He spent his endorsement money.
Yep.
Same thing with Marshawn. Endorsement money. Didn't spend it. Didn't spend his NFL money. That is incredible.
This is my thing with talking heads, and we are one of them now. Hindsight is always 20/20.
Or 50-50, as Cam Newton would like to say.
So we had got the money, and you deal with that situation. I mean, you learn from other people's mistakes, but what happens if you don't study other people's mistakes? Then you're destined to repeat the same problems. And that's what normally happens with people a lot of time is that, you know, they end up, you know, they get rushed. You get put in different situations. You got people blocking true knowledge of you because everybody's trying to control you. And then when it's all said and done, you haven't, you know, you come out of college with no money, no knowledge on how to make money. But if you go in there knowing that at the end of this, at least I'm gonna have $40,000, $50,000, $100,000. Now you're gonna be more. You're looking to try to figure out ways on what to do with that at a minimum of that 100,000. So I just think overall, I love what both of you guys said. It's just that I just don't think it should go to everybody, and I don't think that, you know, 5-star recruits should go to a mid-major school. That's all, Seth.
This is, I'm speechless right now because I'm looking at our notes for the show, and none of this is on the notes.
That's how we do, baby.
This is like,
that's how we do.
Yeah, it's funny how like one topic like morphs into another, which morphs into another, and then we just go off on a tangent, which I think is fantastic because I don't think we have these conversations enough, especially with college football.
Yes, sir.
I think more recently this topic has come up, especially now with California with this new law, and then now New York I think wants to pass one, and a couple other states are looking to do that. So it'll be exciting and interesting to see what the future of college football will hold when and if all these laws can come to fruition, I guess, and see if anybody else will follow the suit, or if maybe the NCAA is such a dinosaur that people might just cut off the NCAA themselves and then do a different avenue. You know, because there's a bunch of old dinosaurs, I hate to say it, a bunch of old white men with, you know, a bunch of money in their pocket that don't give a crap about these kids, just care about themselves, you know, almost like politicians, you know. Not to get political in the show or anything like that.
No, so let's not, because no hype zone is not political.
No, we are not.
But
we are not.
What you're saying, and you know, and to be honest with you, you know, just to combat that, you know, it's not just, you got a lot of, you know, different races that's up there. You got your people who judge the top 25. You know, you have the whites and the blacks all up there. So the whole thing of the matter is they just need to do what's right. These kids are more aware right now. Just like what we was talking about. When you end up pushing somebody up against the wall, you'll turn that mouse into a ferocious lion over time because he's not going to go down. So you can't keep pushing people up against the wall and think they're too stupid to know that they're getting bullied. And that's what's actually happening. I'm not saying the NCAA is a bully. I'm not saying the NCAA is I don't want to say anything. All I'm saying is this new law, I think, is great for the players, and I think that's the sign of things to come for the modern-day athlete.
Yeah, and you hit on that right. The modern-day athlete, like, this is a very archaic way of doing things. A lot of people think that. So, like, let's progress into the new age of the college athlete. Now, you see a lot of these professional athletes having a mind of their own and empowerment to the players, like the whole LeBron movement. You know, I think Draymond Green the other day came out and said, hey, the greatest contribution that LeBron's ever given is, you know, player empowerment in the NBA. So I agree with that. Now it's kind of trickling into the NFL. We touched on that in episode 32 with Jalen Ramsey and all that. We'll get to that in a little bit. But we'll see how the future of college sports will end up.
Like they say out there in the streets, true power don't power trip.
Yeah.
So the whole thing of the matter is if you got true power, then you learn how to hold your power and do the right things without, you know, causing this backlash where you're going to lose your power.
Yeah.
Try to find out ways to increase your power.
Is there anything else you guys want to touch on with college football? Because we can.
I just checked the score. Ohio State did score 70. Game's not over yet. It's 70-5. They've outscored Miami of Ohio 65 straight points.
So I know I'm in the Ohio State house, but you already know one of the topics we're going to talk about. I don't have a new team, but, you know, we'll talk about
Wait. We're going to get to that at the end.
But you know what team I'm talking about.
Are you trying to tease it?
No, I'm not trying to tease. Well,
you're trying to tease your fanboy topic?
I ain't trying to tease the fan. I'm trying to talk about them Tigers. I'm really excited
Oh,
about
LSU.
them.
Yeah.
Tigers.
And that's okay to be excited about a team.
Joe Burrow
Yes, former Buckeye.
held on one more year. We just held on one more year.
that's
Well,
all right,
he
that's all right,
he
that's
didn't
all
move
right.
on last year, so it's okay.
Right. I was going to say, no, there's no drama in college football because everything is the same, just in the top 6, so to speak. But then again, once we get into conference play, it's going to get a lot more